Hello again, everybody. It's Todd Staruch, the Horror Nerd, here at the annual I Heart Horror charity convention to support the Deborah Heart and Lung Foundation. I've been having a blast today, hanging out with a lot of cool horror people, all for a good cause. And we are going to keep right on rolling. I have the opportunity to stand here with one of our filmmakers, Mr. Matt Garcia-Dunn. Right? I got that right?
Yes.
All right. Or otherwise known as Michael Crichton.
Michael Crichton.
Matt, how are you?
Great. Nice to meet you.
Likewise. So, introduce yourself to the fans and tell them who you are, what you're all about.
Am I gonna hold this? Or? Yeah. My name is Matthew Garcia-Dunn. I am a screenwriter, the screenwriter of the movie Screamboat. I think I said screenwriter of Screamboat, but that's what I've been writing on the autograph, so that makes sense. And that came out this past year. And I'm also a video game writer. I've worked on League of Legends. I've worked on Space Marine 2, Dying Light, Silent Hill game, and Marvel's Midnight Suns, and a bunch of other stuff. Writing the new Poppy Playtime, or something new with Poppy Playtime, and that's very cool.
Nice. So, Screamboat, you worked with one of our newer horror icons, Mr. David Howard Thornton, a.k.a. Art the Clown. What was that like?
I didn't actually get to meet him, but it was really fun. I watched all the Terrifier movies. I had to really steel my gut to do it each time, and then just kind of put that in my head, writing all of the Screamboat Willie kind of kills, like his moments. And so I don't feel like I didn't get to meet him, but I feel like I know him well from studying his movements and like what would be fun to see him do in the Willie costume.
Fantastic. So, there's the reveal. All right. Love it. Love it. All right, so we'll make life easier for both of us. I'll hold on to this. All right, we'll just I get easily flustered, right? So, what made you decide to get into the filmmaking business?
I've loved movies and stories ever since I was a kid. I watched way too much horror way too early, and then I went out and I did some stuff with like production companies around Hollywood. I worked like intern for Pixar for a bit and worked with on Tree of Life and a couple other things. But I fell out of it because I got into writing video games, and I've been doing that for like 15, 16 years. And then this kind of like a friend of mine asked me to kind of, if I'd be open to going and working with Steven and helping them build the screenplay. And I said, what's the pitch? And they were like, it's Steamboat Willie, but he terrorizes passengers on the Staten Island ferry. And I was like, oh, I'm in. 100%. Give that to me. That sounds unhinged. And so now,
love it.
Yeah, now I'm back. I've been doing more movies or trying to write more movies and just meeting the community and offering to help them out with whatever they can do to help them out.
Nice. So let's talk about video games for a second. I'm a huge video game guy, especially like immersive, like RPGs. Like I'm a huge Elder Scrolls guy, Diablo, Fallout. And I think that it is an underappreciated form of writing because like Skyrim, for example, is the lore and the backstory. There's like, it's a novel that you can play as like I think about it. So what are some of the unique challenges to writing for video games as opposed to, say, like you're laughing, like writing a novel or a short story?
It's the same with everything. It's the audience. But in games, you can write anything you want, but you have to remember you don't have a protagonist. The player is the protagonist, and whatever they're going to do is what they're going to do. You can't stop them. If they're going to stand in a corner and jump in a corner for 30 minutes, they're going to do that. And good luck with your, cool cinematic storyline if they're doing that. So it's a lot of making a space for players to feel like they can express themselves and who they are through how they play, through what they do, through any dialogue options that they have, and then a lot of environmental storytelling, and then a lot of back-writing. Like you can create a lot of bios, a lot of backgrounds, you write a lot of dialogue. Most of the time when I'm writing, it feels like more like writing a play, because you can only really do dialogue, and most players will just turn the dialogue off or skip the cutscenes, like, It hurts each time, but you have to then think, okay, that's what's going to happen. How can you make the story so that it makes sense and is clear and understandable and fun, knowing all those things are going to happen? That's to me, it's this. You know what it is? It's a horror movie.
Right.
It's making low budget horror. You know what props you have, you know what sets you have, you know what actors you have, and you've got to make something. And it has to be understandable. Like one of my favorite quotes, I think, is Aristotle. This is sound dorky and pretentious, but drama must be able to be understood by children or the very, very drunk. It's true in everything. Horror is great at it. I love it.
Dude, it's funny. Like, I am that guy that when I'm playing a video game, I will like try to push the limits of like what the playable character can do or even should do. So I'm your nemesis. Just so you know.
No, you're not. You're my best friend because my goal is great. Give me those people. I know they're going to try as hard to not pay attention or see the stuff. How can I get them to see it and feel it without like knowing what they're going to do, knowing they're going to skip it, right? Or knowing that they're going to make their character look as crazy as possible, and then they're going to be in this very super serious cutscene, and they're going to look like a jester that got hit by a bus, and you're like, okay, yeah.
Dude, I love it. I actually like watching like YouTube videos of different video games where it was like no one predicted a player would try this, But you have to think of it like because the game still has to be playable, right? Like, and you can get yourself in, you go off the edge of the map or whatever. You still have to have some constraints.
Yes. Yeah, and the other thing is with the difference is I work a lot with like designers and artists. You, as a game writer, you have to understand the mechanics, like what is the player going to do? What are the outputs? Like, can they shoot? Can they run? Can they not do those things? Is it a platformer? Like, those things become much more important than in writing like a film. Because in a movie, you're like, okay, what genre is it? Okay, I know what I have to do to make it look like that genre. But with like a game, it's like understanding what the outputs are, what the math is doing, how a player is going to land a combo. How are they going to know it's a combo? How are they going to know to go over there and touch that thing? Should I make it glowing? Because if I'm glowing, I'm showing them, but it's not really fun to be shown, right? Like, it's so many like questions like that. How can you do it? And how can it make sense? How can it work thematically with what you're trying to do? And I believe that great game stories, they do this at a very light touch. I think one of my favorite video games is Journey, and there's no dialogue in Journey, but you get the story just by playing it. Another one of my favorites is Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem, one of my all-time favorite video games. And it's so clear, and it's so simple, and the game's mechanics actually mess with you back because they teach you to manage your sanity, and if you don't, the game will start messing with you and your TV, and it'll like pretend like it crashed or like there's bugs in your house. It's so cool. That's my favorite kind of stuff because it feels like you're bringing interactive theater or immersive theater into somebody's house. I think that's neat.
I love it. Dude, I could talk to you all day about video games. I'm not even kidding because, a lot of video games now, like especially like Skyrim and Fallout, have very extensive mod communities, right? So that can really mess with like your original vision. Like especially in Skyrim, there are some characters like NPCs that are ultra annoying, but you can't kill them. Until a modder came along and said, like, now you can. How do you feel about that? Like, there's people that are like touching your original story.
I think it's cool. I don't think there's a lot of other mediums out there where you can do that. Like, people are starting to figure it out now where they can like recut The Hobbit to be like a 2-hour-long movie, and I'm like, okay, that is kind of cool. And oh my God, it actually kind of works. Or recut Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul so it's chronological, which I have looked at, and I'm a nerd about it. But with games, it's like, yeah, it's their reality. You're making something for them to do. And once it's out, it's like with any kind of art. Once it's out, you're not in it anymore. It's not about you. It's about the player. It's about the audience. I'm so fascinated with what they do afterwards. With Riot, one of the characters I worked on was a character called Ivern, and he's a big tree druid. And somebody made their own skin for him that turned him into Jack Skellington, and I was like, yes! That is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's not allowed in the game. It's a legal mod, but like, I have to say that. But it was just seeing it happen. I was like, oh, I love modders.
That's pretty cool, man. All right, I will, like I said, we'll have to get together again because I could talk to you for hours. But one last question. So any projects that you're working on right now that you can share with us?
Well, I think the director announced that we're making a Screamboat 2. So
nice.
I think I'm gonna be helping write it, and I'm excited. I have a bunch of ideas in my notebook already. And stay tuned. I mean, Poppy Playtime, as I've just joined that team, so I'm excited to work on them with the next chapter. And after that, there's other stuff that I don't know if it's going to go, but movies and some other games too.
Awesome. Tell the fans out there how they can follow you along on social media or whatever. It's your chance to plug away.
Nice. All right. So this is the answer you don't ever get, which is I'll accept anybody on LinkedIn. If you can find Matthew Garcia-Dunn on LinkedIn, I will just accept you, and then that's it. Like, that is probably, I'm the only person who uses it because it's boring and business based, and I think that is so punk rock in the age of like social media. I don't want loud things. I want to see a resume. Yeah, let me see your resume. I don't know, let me see you talk business, talk shop. Or you can find me on Instagram at JMMATT1. I have a picture of me and my cat. But I will only post cat pictures, pretty much.
Legit. Matt, thank you so much for a few minutes of your time. Yeah, absolutely. People come to these things like for the celebrities sometimes, but I love talking to like filmmakers and authors and other creators and stuff. It's so cool.
I'll be a filmmaker soon. I'm hopefully get to the next year or two make something that I've written, and I don't know what it's going to be like, but I'm excited about it.
Very cool. Matt Garcia-Dunn, everybody here at iHeart Horror. I am Todd Struch, the Horror Nerd, signing off. We will see all of you in the next interview.